Good morning, Genesis Project. My name is Tim, and this is my beautiful wife, Jen, and we're here this morning to talk to you about Women at Risk International. It is a Christian nonprofit organization that was established to primarily protect and rescue women and children from human trafficking and sexual slavery. We have a quick video that we'd like to show to you real quick that kind of describes the problem, shows you how widespread it is, but at the same time it also has some graphic images that parents, if you have some young children, they may not want to be present for this video.
In distant places like Cambodia,
Is she just 12?
Yes.
hundreds of children are on open sale,
Boom Boom is okay?
living in brothels, bought and sold as sex slaves.
Yeah.
30 is okay?
Yeah.
One girl?
It's a tiny slice of a worldwide shadow industry called human trafficking.
It is a modern day form of slavery. You're holding people against their will to do terrible things that they wouldn't do on their own.
And it's happening here. Every year, tens of thousands are trafficked into the U.S. and forced into prostitution or forced labor, their lives threatened. This little boy, rescued in Florida, was branded by a trafficker in front of his mother. But now, trafficking cases involve American kids, lured in, held by force, and sold for sex.
United States citizens who are born and raised there can be sold.
Trafficking cases are being investigated in almost every state. Victims identified in Las Vegas in the last year alone came from 28 different home states. Shauna Newell makes friends easily, so when the new girl at high school invited her to a sleepover, she said sure.
And we just hung out like normal friends would, and then the last day that I hung out with her, it's like the whole world flipped upside down.
When Shauna got to the house in Pensacola, Florida, she asked for a glass of water.
I drank the water and blacked out.
What was in the water?
Date rape drug.
By Shauna's account, the new friend was actually a recruiter. The girl's so-called father was a sex trafficker.
My legs were being held, and my hands were tied like this above my head. And I remember saying, no, please don't do this.
Shauna was drugged, beaten, and raped repeatedly. In the parlance of human trafficking, she was being softened for trade.
I fought him off for a little while, and then when I figured out I couldn't get him off, I just kind of laid there and just prayed the whole time.
Saying what?
Please let me live.
Shauna's story is not unique. 200,000 teens a year are said to be at risk of being lured into forced prostitution. Shauna remembers dollar figures discussed.
I was really mad because $300,000, I'm worth a lot more than $300,000.
So as you can see, this problem is pretty widespread, and Women at Risk International, at first, what they would do is they would focus on rescuing and trying to protect these women. But what they found over time was that a lot of these women were poor and needy, and they didn't have a way to really provide any sort of sustained income for themselves. And unfortunately, that's the exact description and profile of the type of people that human traffickers target. So unfortunately, a lot of these women would be rescued, but they didn't have any follow-on ability to really protect them, and these women would fall right back into, they'd be recaptured by the human traffickers and those who would seek to abuse them. A need was identified basically for safe houses, and these safe houses have now been propped up, over 18 different countries. And in these safe houses, these women are provided food, they're provided shelter, they're provided protection from these traffickers and from those that would seek to further exploit these women. They're also provided an opportunity, should they choose to participate, to speak to a Christian counselor, where this Christian counselor will basically introduce them to God, reinforce in these women that they were created by God, that God loves them, that they are beautiful, they were created beautiful, and basically try to restore some dignity that was stripped away by these evil people. They're also taught life skills such as a craft or a trade, things like making jewelry or ornaments or pajamas. Basically, kind of dependent upon the country with which they're in, kind of dictates what they're taught.
So Genesis Project, this is where we need you. On April 29th, we're going to be hosting a missions event during both services to showcase these beautiful gifts of distinction like Tim was talking about. We have Egyptian hand-blown glass ornaments, homemade Indian pajamas, beautiful silk scarves, pashmina scarves. We have jewelry from costume jewelry that is made in Africa with rolled paper, all the way up to real freshwater Thailand pearls. So there really is something for everyone. We have Mother's Day that is quickly coming up, so we all have presents to buy for that, or we all, especially women, have friends that we like to buy small gifts for Christmas or for birthdays, and some people are already doing their Christmas shopping early. So 100% of the proceeds go back to Women at Risk, and they send 90% of that back into each woman's safe house. So we're asking you to pray and considering coming out to purchase one of these gifts for yourself or for a loved one. That way you're also giving them a gift that is very unique, but also raising awareness on human trafficking. And we will need quite a bit of help the day of the event, so Tim and I, as well as Elaine, after this service, will have a sign-up sheet out in the lobby if you're interested in helping. Thank you so much, and God bless.